Okay, we are recording and I am so excited. One of the things I love absolutely best about Isogenics is the willingness of the leadership team to help us in so many areas. And Kristina, I consider a friend now. I just fell in love with her as soon as I met her at an event. She goes over the top, and she is the vice president of sales. I don't even know all of her responsibilities, but a huge one is all of our regional people report to her. So Kristen's in my region. A lot of you guys have Anja. All of those people report to Kristina, and she is so great at coming up with new ideas to help the field constantly. And she worked in the field, so she's got a lot of experience. And so I wanted to bring her on today to really answer your questions and help you. And I gave her a little bit of a background on you guys being executives on our team and what we're doing here. And so Kristina, when I posted in the group what people really felt they wanted some help with, overridingly they said help converting customers to consultants. And rank advancing people. So I know you get to work with a lot of top leaders in the company. So I thought maybe if you could share some things that are working for people that are in growth right now, because some teams cycles are down. You know, overall my cycles are just a little down. They're not terribly down, but I do have some leaders that are down. So we're trying to do whatever we can to address that. And we know that the growth and the momentum is coming. And so we want to be, really prepared for that. But any advice? First of all, thank you for being here.
It's great to be here. This is actually my favorite thing to do. So I was thrilled when you asked me any chance that I can get on a call with the field and kind of collaborate and just share ideas. I love doing it. So thanks for asking me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So any thoughts on, what other top leaders are doing that are building and in momentum right now with converting customers to consultants and then keep the rank advancing going?
Sure. It's interesting because just as you say that, I've been in this business 22 years. And, there's a lot that's changed in the way that we communicate and connect with people. There's a lot more options now than there were 20 years ago. But the one thing that has never changed is what you just said, Cindy. It's connecting and prospecting. You have to absolutely make that a priority no matter what level of leadership you are. And I talk to even leaders that have been in Isogenics, since the beginning. And anytime they see their business slow down or their paycheck get a little smaller, it's typically because they've lost the focus on connecting and put their focus on something else. And so the first thing I would just talk about, before we get into converting and rank advancing is as a leader, you have to be committed to prospecting and connecting. And when I say committed means like talking to 3 to 5 people every day in person. Forget about what you're doing on social media, because social media, you could connect with a whole bunch of people in one day. You could do 50 people in one day and then not do it again for a couple of days just because the speed of connecting digitally. But being committed to connecting is everywhere you go, really being self-aware and being intentional about who's around you, and just always making a point to stop and talk. And guys, even though I'm not building and I don't get any credit for any prospecting, I still do it. You could ask my significant other, my son, my best friends, my mother, anytime I'm out and about shopping, restaurants, my daily routine, dry cleaning, I still do it. Because it's something that if you don't practice all the time, you're not going to be really, really good at it. And your numbers are not going to grow. You're not going to progress and get better. So I still do it now because I know if I'm going to talk about it, I have to know how to do it myself. So always looking around and just starting a conversation and let go of the outcome. Don't worry if they ever join your team or not. Just start a conversation, care about people, be really curious, ask a lot of questions. Because when you're curious about people and you ask questions about them and they sincerely can tell like that you're interested, they're going to be interested in you. And it's going to come back around. Well, what do you do? And the conversation will come back around because they like you. And so that's one of the things that sounds really simple, but talking to at least 3 to 5 people in person a day. And so what that's going to take is for you to go out of your routine. So if you normally go to one grocery store, go to a different one. If whatever you normally do, change it up a little so that you are constantly around different people and you can start those conversations. Those conversations you're making friends. And that's how I always looked at it. When I was building with 2 startups, I had to go out. The last startup I did, I had to get 10,000 designers in a year by myself, pretty much. So what that meant is I had to bring in the founding leaders, help them build their teams, so that I wasn't the only one getting to 10,000, kind of like what you do, right? So what I had to be really good at connecting with people every single day. And just like you, I didn't get my paycheck if I didn't make my numbers. So I got really good at just making friends every single day. And if you authentically do that in person, forget what you're doing on social media, and you add that many people to your network, it's going to help you enroll more people. So it all starts there. Cindy, I'll talk a little bit about customer conversion, because that's a big opportunity, especially people who already love our products and have had really great results. It's a couple things. Sometimes it's just timing. So it's not you, it's just time in their life, right? And you just have to hit on the right time. So you should keep asking. But what I found to convert really loyal customers over to the other side of business, if they've said no to you a few times, they don't have the vision, right? They can't picture it. They love the product, whatever, but they're like, oh, I don't want to do the business. I've heard that a million times myself. I think what you have to do is prove them wrong. So if you like doing a social or a sip and sample, ask them to host for you to help you build your business. Like, I know you don't want to do the business, but would you help me out and host a social where I can just like tell people about my business, introduce the products, get their opinions on the products, just something really social. You don't have to do anything except you're just helping me out. So when you position it that way, they're a little bit more open. They don't feel like it's about them. They're doing something to help you. But when it all comes to light and you have this amazing time and people enroll and they see how easy it is, they stand back and watch people get excited about the product, the opportunity, and they get started. Then they're like, okay, I just saw this. It was easy. I think I could do it. So sometimes you have to kind of show them the way without them even knowing that you're showing them the way. So that's something that can work with customers, but a lot of times it's timing, and it's just getting them at the right time where something in their life changes and they need to make a change.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So how about once we convert them to consultants, getting people to understand the whole rank advancing? I mean, obviously we have a lot of executives on our team. That's something I'm passionate about. I want everyone there. These guys know I harp on it all the time. Get there and do it again so you can stay paid as. I'm constantly preaching that. And I know you've seen it over and over again in the field. So getting the customer to convert when they're ready is step one. And then what?
Yeah, and I think as a leader, I mean, for you to stay paid as executive and grow from there, you know, you've got to find the people with their hands up, because you're not going to be everything to everybody, right? And I think sometimes we do that to ourselves, is we try to be like the role model for every single person. We want every single person to be successful. We want every single person to run with us and match our energy, but it's just not, that's not reality. So I think always finding people that have their hand up and really looking for those people. And you're not going to find a ton of them. They're few and far between, in fact, but finding people who have like a need that you can help fill, something that, you know, burns in their soul that they've never been able to do. And you know, that burning in the soul could be paying off a credit card at first. That could be something that keeps people up at night. Debt causes so much stress. So even find that, I feel like those people are the easiest people to find because it's all over the place. But look for people with a need and make them your priority. Invest time in them, spend time with them. You know, I think the biggest thing is people, even when they convert to a consultant, to get them to manager, director, whatever, you got to take them by the hand, do 3-way calls, role model what to say, how to say it, almost do it for them with the first couple people so they can hear you and be able to emulate you and model your behavior until they can do it themselves, until they have the confidence to do it themselves. I think people will quit if they don't feel like they have someone in the beginning who can really take them by the hand and help them through their first 3, you know, enrollments of what to say, how to say it. They don't have the confidence. They don't feel like they know enough about the product. So I think as a leader, work with the people with a burning, some kind of need, something that they really need, whether it's paying debt off, like something for their kids. You know, I feel like moms are, to me, like the easiest to talk to. You know, because everything they do for their kids. So they don't do anything for themselves. So, you know, that's somebody with a need. So finding those people, don't waste your time. And I say waste your time, I don't mean, we want to be inclusive and love and put our arms around everybody, but invest in the right people that really want to do this. Don't drag anybody kicking and screaming. It's not their time. If they're giving you a ton of pushback, it is just not their time, and don't waste your time. You know, keep loving on them and keep them in, in your social media, and like keep following them and liking them and all that stuff, but don't invest a lot of time in them. You need to find people who have a reason. And that is, I think, one of the biggest things we do is spend time with the wrong people.
Yeah, dragging the dead.
Yeah, and it also makes you look desperate.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you won't even realize it. But if you keep going back to the same people all the time, trying to get them to like listen to you, it's like you're desperate. That's why I say meeting 5 new friends a day will keep you out of doing that. If you're constantly meeting new people every day and adding them to your network, you're never going to run out of people to talk to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I have one more question, then I want to open it up till 12:30. And that is, I have seen, so I've been here 6.5 years, a huge shift in really with this Essence tour, because now I just finished my second one in Boston, which was fabulous. And Gina and Polly were with me at Susan Miller's Super Saturday, which was amazing. And she talked about, it was really, like, she called it the next wave of attracting entrepreneurs, not just focusing so much on the product, talking more about the business. And I felt like we've been doing that through the Essence tour. And yeah. I love that. And I think we kind of shied away from that for a little bit. I feel like, we're really putting it out there again, compliantly, of course, that this is so attractive as a business model. And Susan Miller, like, she had people on stage. There was a woman who had her doctorate. I mean, she had 3 degrees, $200,000 of student loan debt.
Yeah.
And she left working corporate America to do Isogenics. There was a guy making, they didn't say exactly, but it was over $500,000, but I think it was closer to $1 million a year. He left his full-time job making that kind of money for time freedom with us. So I'm seeing more of that. Can you speak to that? Because I think we need to be looking for more than product users.
Absolutely. I can agree more. It's so funny because one of the, so let me talk about this whole opportunity meeting that Cindy's talking about, because as a company, we've kind of gotten away from doing a lot of opportunity meetings. And I think because we've just put so much focus on social media and connecting that way, that we've stopped doing, like, getting people together in a group. Now, just like Cindy said, there are so many people are overworked, underpaid, don't have time. So they don't want to necessarily go to the Residence Inn for a PowerPoint presentation after a long day at work, right? And miss time with their family. So if you want to do, like, if you want to kind of gather and meet new people and have your team bring in new people to introduce them to the product and the opportunity, do it in a fun, social way. And that was the whole point of the Essence tour. The oils was just a hook to get them in because it's something different, but you don't have to focus on essential oils. We are a health and wellness company, with a big focus on weight loss. So we never want to forget that. But it was trying to bring people together in a fun, social way, and make them want to come out, even when they don't feel like it, to learn about Isogenics. So that's why we did them in fun, trendy coffee shops, wine bars, like social venues. You can do it at home too. Like, if somebody's more comfortable doing an at-home social, that's totally fine. But the whole point is that it's social and it's fun. That's how people want to learn now. They don't want to sit in a conference room. They want to learn and mingle with like-minded people and try the products. We know when they try them, they taste great. They have that experience, and they talk with each other about how they taste great. And they hear people's stories, both financial and the product stories. They are more apt to enroll that night when they get excited and they catch the excitement around them. One of the ones that Cindy's talking about that I went to, we did one to kind of test drive it here in Arizona. And a girl came in, like, she just happened to be at this venue and walked in. And I asked her, I said, why did you come over? She was a lawyer and has all kinds of debt that she's trying to pay off. And she said, I'm Uber driving, like at night, on the weekends, sometimes even my lunch hour, to try to make that extra money. But she said, if I could do this, this sounds a lot more fun and, less hours for a lot more money. So definitely like getting people on opportunity calls, having a social. And the thing is with these socials, you've got to make sure people bring guests. And the key is getting different people to host. So instead of you always hosting, ask people to host. Will you do me a favor? I'm trying to build my business and expand my customer reach by getting people to try our products and sample them and see what they think. And, whatever, would you be willing to host a social for me? And just all you have to do is invite your friends and family. I do all the rest. It's going to be fun. We're going to try products. We're going to talk about them. And if anybody's interested in getting started, I'm there to support them. So like make it like not a big commitment, whatever. It's just a fun social gathering. But if you can find different people to host, and I used to do that all the time. I am still friends with people that were strangers. Like I would meet them at a meetup and I'd host for them and they'd host for me. And I'm still friends with them. I'm a Rodan and Fields like auto ship skincare customer from somebody who hosted for me when I was out recruiting. So that kind of networking is going to help expand your circles all the time. And that's what you have to do. So you have to stop hosting yourself and find people who are not in Isogenics or customers to host for you. And you'll meet new people all the time. And if you have a new consultant, that's a great thing for her. Get her to get her best friend to host a social. She'll probably rank advanced that night if a few people enroll. You know what I mean? And she'll get somebody else started. So it's all about getting others to help you. Don't take it all on yourself. And if you're enthusiastic and passionate and fun and you make it sound fun, people will host for you. That is a really quick way to build your business.
These parties have been fun. I know Gina brought a guest to Cape Cod, and it was a prior customer, and she came back to like maybe retry the products, left saying, "Ooh, I think I know who my first two people are going to be."
Yeah.
So that was really powerful for me to see, but that's awesome. All right. I don't want to hog all of the time. So you guys, you've got Kristina Swift here. Anyone want to unmute and ask her a question? I mean, I could keep going, but I really want to make sure you guys are getting what you need.
And I will tell you the great thing about this business, because I did jewelry and skincare, cosmetics, beauty, that kind of thing. I had a very narrow audience. But with Isogenics, it's for everybody. You can talk to everybody. That's what I love the most.
Yeah. Yeah. Beth, you have a question?
I do. Talking about with these socials, I've had it on my plan since Celebration to host these with young millennials.
Yeah.
And that makes me really nervous. Don't know why. But how would you go about with the invitation so they're not, because a lot of millennials have misconceived thoughts about direct sales and network marketing.
Right. So for the invitation, I think you make a great point because millennials are different. So you have to talk to them a little bit differently. You don't want to say business opportunity. They respond to side gig, side hustle. So your language in the invitation needs to be a little bit different and more casual. And that's the whole point of this, is people getting together in a fun, social, casual way. So it's not this structured, like old school kind of presentation. Now you can still do you share, they share with a flip chart, and have some fun with that. But I think in your language, and do you know, like, are you friends with a millennial or have somebody in your network that could kind of help you, that kind of speaks that language? Because that's what I would always do, is kind of like find somebody to help me that is that demographic.
Yeah, and I can tell you, like with my son and his group, they don't have preconceived notions about network marketing. Like I have found the opposite to be true, Beth. I kind of worried about that myself, but I've found the opposite to be true. So many of them are open because they are already doing things like Uber. They're already doing investment type things, and they're doing multiple jobs to, one, get out of debt, but two, they want freedom. More than our generation, they want time freedom.
Yeah, I have a 21-year-old son, and he is all about balance. And he's like, Mom, he's like, I watched you travel and do all this stuff, like your whole career. And he's like, I'm gonna have very different lifestyle. I want to travel. Like, I mean, they're all about balance and, like Cindy said, time freedom. So this is perfect. And they are the generation that's not hung up on a career. You know what I mean? They are not as hung up as we were growing up about having to fit into a certain job.
Absolutely. All right. Who else? Good question, Beth. Shall I keep going?
I'll ask a quick question just along the same line of the invite. So I actually have a social coming up this Friday, which I'm very excited about. Yes. And so I want to paint the picture, the vision of what it truly is going to be, because like Cindy mentioned in the past, we've focused so much on the product, and I've had many sip and samples and inviting them to try the products, which I know there'll be a little bit of, but I also want to be truthful with them because I know that the socials are more about the business vision.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that I paint that picture. So, I mean, what are some tips you would give for that?
So when do you have them all in like a private group?
No, I mean, I've just been inviting individually. Yeah.
So what you could do is put them in a private group. And this is what I would do, like leading up to it. So let's say I started inviting 2 weeks out. I would put them in a private group and start like dribbling, like creating some excitement around what's to come that night. So I would, sometimes it was like pictures of amazing recipes and, you know, Isogenics products made this, you know, whatever. So I would do some product ones, but then I would be bold and do something, if I were you, about like, you know, things like, you know, after you make the mortgage payment, are you, you know, major, like something about after you make your mortgage payment, are you worried how you're going to get through the rest of the month? Or do your bills keep you up at night? You know, if the answer is yes, you're definitely going to want to come Friday night and hear about, you know, this side gig or something like that. And like what you want to do is think about things that are really happening to people right now, about debt, about, you know, what a struggle it is. Like I meet people all the time that have 3 jobs, you know, so you could say something like that. Are you tired of working 3 jobs? Wouldn't it be great to just have one? You know, or images of, say, find some really good pictures, like of, say, a mom with her kid and a laptop. Wouldn't it be great if this was your 9 to 5? You know, come Friday night and, you know, live your ideal life. That's why we named these socials Your Ideal Life, because that could mean anything to anybody, right? It's your ideal life. What does that look like to you? So find images that even represent that. It could be, you know, a mom being able to work from home. It could be travel. It could be, you know, family together, you know, so even find images that kind of speak to it and tease it a little bit. And I think that's a great way to create interest around the business opportunity without sounding like too formal, but more like you're giving them a visual of what the possibilities were.
And Tiffany, I think you're talking specifically about an Essence Tour meeting, correct? You have an Essence Tour? So you can,
this Friday, yep.
You can let them know too that there's going to be some great gifts. I mean, what I've found on all of the ones that I've gone to, the guests are so grateful. They get a bag of goodies. They get a free enrollment form. They get a $20 product coupon. If they ask questions, there's a couple oils that are given away. They get free appetizers. It is just kind of a fun evening where they get fed, they have a great time, and then should they choose to do this, which I think, like, I mean, honestly, everybody that I've witnessed has said, I'm going home and signing up. I think there's probably going to be a very high ratio of people that attend and how many actually sign up. So do that, and then try to get them to bring people as well. Like, that's what I would be doing is, you know, you could have instant consultants by getting a guest to come and bring a couple people with them.
So do a promotion on, and you can work with your region manager, bring a friend. I used to do that all the time. Bring a friend and get X. You know what I mean? So then that really increases the number of guests that come. And Cindy, that's a great point. I always promoted the free products that they're going to get to try. Everybody loves something for free, and it's very rare you get anything for free anymore. So just that it's a fun social evening. And that's really what you want to focus on. But I always would put, like, if you've got if you were doing your own and it wasn't the Essence Tour, And if you were just going to host your own social, I would put them into a private Facebook group so you can start creating excitement leading up to the event, because guests will ask questions in there too. And it's just a great opportunity to stay connected with them so that they actually show up.
Yeah, I love that. All right, guys, we probably have time for one more question. Anyone have one? Go ahead, Beth.
I have kind of a little different topic, but just touching on compliance. Mm-hmm. Our team is very good about not doing things that we're not supposed to be doing.
Right.
We've learned from the top. I see a lot of things out there of people enticing people of, get this, win this with, when you sign up or things like that. Yeah. Is that allowed now, or is it?
Well, I mean, you can't, you don't want to pay for people to enroll. That's like a big no-no. It's like pay to play, which is what we have to really be careful of. So we've got a pretty good side. We have like 20 people on our compliance team who try to monitor that stuff, and they will coach people when they see, and usually it's new people who don't know any better, that it's usually just they're not educated, right? What I will tell you is we're going to be launching our compliance team. We're really trying to loosen the reins on how we talk about the business and the product, but more the business and what we can say. We were a little looser, and then we got scared, and we're super, super tight about how we presented the business opportunity out there. But the compliance team is just finishing up and are going to be launching some really great tools and examples of exactly what you can say about how to really drive the business and the money making opportunity in a compliant way, but much bolder than what we've been doing, because we recognize that we have to loosen the reins and give you the freedom to really unleash this opportunity. It's such an incredible opportunity, and we have to get more aggressive about telling people and sharing with people, still being compliant, but a little bolder too. So I think you're going to love that. It should be launching really soon, and we're going to incorporate it into our ICUs next year and NYKO as well, to kind of re-educate everybody. But there'll be a lot more tools and resources for you to use, like social media posts that you can lift and load and just like personalize them, and lots of examples that you can use as kind of templates to be able to share with others. So it's going to be really fabulous.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. And we've got 2 minutes left, Kristina. Anything else you want to share, add? Anything coming up we have to look forward to with the new seasonal catalog? I think we have a live this week.
Yes. The new seasonal catalog is going to launch, and, there's some great new products in there. So there's two. There's the Healthy Living Guide that launches this week. And then the Healthy Giving Guide is going to be launching in November, which is really great, because last year it launched the beginning of October. And we had a great few weeks with the newness of those products. And then we didn't really have anything to talk about for a while. So this time, the strategy is to give you something to talk about with your customers at the beginning of mid-October, and then again in November, to give some energy into the business from November till the end of the year. So you'll keep having things to share and talk about. So that's really, really exciting. You're going to love it. We're also relaunching associate run events. So when you want to now, and you're going to love this for you guys who have socials and stuff that you like, Tiffany, if you love this whole Essence social and you want to take that and start doing it yourself with your team, with other people, we're partnering with Eventbrite, and you're going to be able to go in and create an event on Eventbrite through Isagenix. And it can be a social, it can be a Super Saturday. You're going to have these different options. You can create it, and everyone around the world will have visibility. Outside people, if they're curious about Isagenix, will come in, and they'll be able to see all of our opportunity socials, our Super Saturdays, and our opportunity calls.
Wow.
So it's going to be really, really, really exciting, and it's going to help you make it easier for you to host these events, market them, advertise them, and invite people to them. So those are two big things that we'll be launching. We're super excited about.
That's awesome.
You know, I just wanted one quick question. I know we're running out of time, but when we do if there's new products, is it going to be, it was so quick how we ran out of everything. And are we planning ahead, like have things last a little longer?
Yes.
You know, I hate to put out the sense of urgency that it'll only be here for 24 hours and then 3 weeks later it's still there, or vice versa.
Well, we did look at our quantities last year, and we bought a much higher quantity this year. So we never know exactly what the demand is going to be, but we definitely increased the quantities. So we are not anticipating selling out in 24 hours.
Good. Awesome. All right, Kristina, thank you so much. This was so incredibly helpful to all of us, and we so appreciate your time. And
absolutely.
Can't wait to see you. I'm sure you're involved with the live this week, so we'll see you there, and then we'll see you at New Year's kickoff for sure.
Definitely. Thanks, Cindy. It was great being with you guys.